Hello everybody out there in Flosstube world. This is Vicki, aka the Virginia Stitcher, coming to you with my promised kit parade. So this will be a video that features all of the cross stitch patterns that I have either fully kitted or partially kitted that are in my my acquisitions, my cross stitch acquisitions, I like to say that not only is cross stitching a craft, but so is collecting cross stitch. So, and I love each and every one of my projects. And the reason that these are kitted is they are on my radar to stitch up at some time in the near future. I wanted to be able to have some projects that when I got the urge or I felt like it, that I could just grab it and start it. So that is why I have some of these kitted. I didn't want to have to always go, oh, I got to go run out and find the, see if I can get the threads. I don't have a very close needlework shop to me. The closest one is over an hour away, and the other one is over 2 hours away. So there's one in Virginia Beach and there's one in Alexandria, Virginia. And I'm kind of in the middle of both of them, and I have to travel 95, which is hairy to say the least. I-95 is the main corridor that goes from all the way from down the Atlantic coast of the whole United States. And so getting out onto that highway is always crowded and busy and crazy. People drive like maniacs. So I don't get out very often to my needlework shops. So I like to have things kitted that way, so if I know I'm going to a needlework shop, I go ahead and I look at maybe a project I know I want to have kitted to start sometime in the future. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in, because I have 2 baskets and 3 bins out of my cross stitch cupboards that I took out that are all of my kitted projects. So I'm going to start with the ones that are on my immediate radar. These are ones that I have scheduled myself to start this year. Whether I do or not is, I just have them ready because I've been thinking of starting these sometime this year. And some of them I have started over January, February, and March. But I have projects here for April through December that I still was thinking of starting. But I also have added some new things in. Things that weren't planned starts already. My dog's declaration from ink circles that I picked up at in Stitches in Alexandria. My One Nation, the flag piece from Bygone Stitches that I picked up at the Steel City Stitchers retreat. Those were not planned at the beginning of the year. I probably have 3 or 4 that I have started that weren't really planned, but these are planned starts. So I'm going to start with them. So my first basket full has this one I'm planning on starting in on April 1st, more than likely, because this was something I had planned for an April start. At first I thought I would start it for my birthday, which is in April, but I have a different one I'm going to do for a birthday start. This is one I picked up last fall from the Blue Flower, and I might have to, there's going to be a lot of zipping and probably crinkling of plastic bags for this video. So I apologize right now for those of you that don't like to hear those sounds. That's probably going to be happening a lot because each and every project is in a bag or in plastic or in plastic. So this is the Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower. And I loved all of the animals on this, and I know a lot of people have already started this one. I got this one and I kitted it up. So this one is ready to go. I'm planning on starting it in just about a week and a half, I'm hoping. So I have my threads. Like, look at my nice, neat, I haven't even started stitching with these yet and they look like a mess. I don't know how some people keep their flosses so nicely organized, but I have this one. This was just a little bauble I picked up and made a floss drop with a lobster claw thing. I think this is used a lot of times maybe for keychains and stuff, but I just put that on here. So I have this one kitted with DMC's, Classic Color Works, and the Weeks Dye Works, and there is one Victorian motto I pulled in, and it might be because I didn't have this particular green in my stash for this piece. And I, instead of doing it, I have this one kitted on a different fabric than the called for. I know a lot of people were searching and searching for this called for piece of fabric. I'm not sure what it is. I'm trying to look here real quick. I don't really see it quickly. But I am going to stitch mine on something different. And I'm going to stitch mine on a piece of 18 count Ada in the color Pistachio from, I think this is Fiber on a Whim. And I believe I picked this one up at the StitchCon last year. At Keepsakes, their pop-up shop that they had. And so these are my colors, and I think it's going to look really good on this greenish fabric, this pistachio. So this is what I have the Blue Flowers Moonlight Sampler kitted with. Now I'm going to try to quickly throw everything back in the bag and try not, and of course I dropped something already out of my bag. I'm going to try not to take too long, but I at least need to kind of tuck the stuff back in there, or I might have a real time trying to figure out what goes with what. This next one is that bag. The previous bag was a bag I made using Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch's project bag tutorial. This one is a So Much to Love bag. And this one houses my birthday start. So my birthday is April 17th. It's actually on Easter this year. And I am going to start Elizabeth Weston 1830. So this is the piece, and it's from Hands Across the Sea, that I have decided I wanted to do as a birthday start. And I have all of my, I'm doing her with the DMCs. So these are the DMCs that are called for, because they call for either DMC for her or Soitagé silks. And I am going to stitch this one on a piece of 32 count Lugana even weave. Let me see, where's my piece of paper for it? Let me put this down. And this one is in a color something stone. I don't know what I did with that. Maybe I stuck it in the book. Let me look real quick. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what I did with the, but she is going to be a big girl, so I have a good sized piece of fabric. I picked this fabric up at Salty Yarns in Ocean City when I was there back in December for a retreat. And so I am going to stitch it on this piece of, I know it's stone, 32 count Lugana, but I thought there was another stone something. But these are my colors, and this is my fabric, and the Elizabeth Weston. So she is going to be started next month also for my birthday start. So I have her all kitted and ready to go. I even have extra DMCs because I need several of a few of the colors for her because she is a good sized girl. So I have no plans on having her finish this year, but I am going to get a good start on her. And my next start is the one that I will be starting with Cindy and Madeline at StitchCon, and that was my Let Love Rain that I picked up pre-ordered from Market. So that is, last time I showed this, I did a boo-boo and didn't turn it the other page backwards. This is what the sampler looks like. And I can't wait to get this one started. So I'm going to start this one in June at StitchCon with Madeline and Cindy. And I have this one kitted up with all of the DMCs and the couple of weeks dye works. So I still need to floss drop my threads, but I also have a piece of, I think this is 32 count Lugana even weave. 28 count Lugana in the color Ivory. So it's like a creamy white color, off-white color, and these are my flosses. So I have this one kitted up, and this one is in a So Much to Love bag, so it's already got a nice little bag for it and everything. Just sitting here waiting for June so I can get this one started, and I can't wait. I mean, I love all of these, and I have to kind of pace myself a little bit. As you know, I have lots and lots and lots of whips, and I just want to start more and more things. Now, this next one, I have it kitted, and it's in this basket. I'm not sure if I'm going to start it or not. If I don't start it this year, I might start it next year. And it might be a birthday start for next year for me. And this one is Defraud Tag 1849 by From the Heart Needle Art. And it looks like this. I'm going to be doing, you know, the big sampler. And right now I have it kitted with a piece of Bestitch Me 32 count Lugana in the color Coconut Shell. I'm in her Fabric of the Month club. And so I pulled that piece aside, and I have all of the called for, looks like they're all classic color works. And then this is my fabric. Not sure if I'm going to, you know, keep it on this fabric or not. I don't know if this is a little too dark. I like my lighter colors to still show up and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if I stay with this fabric. But this is the one that I have right now sitting in the bag, kitted with it. So that's Defraud Tag 1849 by From the Heart Needle Art. And I just loved all of the really pretty florally designs in it. It looks so feminine. It's just so pretty. So sweet. So that is kitted, and if it's not a start for this year, it may be a start for next year. And this one is in a, what is this bag? Who's this one by? This is a Goose bag off of Etsy. It just has hearts on it. Kind of a Valentine bag. So that empties this bin. This bin has already been half emptied with all of the things I already have started. Just going to throw everything kind of back in there. So I'm going to keep myself half straight here. And we'll get to the next bin of things that are planned starts for this year. So these will be things that are planned from July through December in this basket. And the first one up is in a So Much to Love bag. And this one is going to be a start in July, I believe, because this one is a patriotic piece. It is by Plum Samplers, and it is called Liberty's Welcome. Take it out of the plastic for you. So it looks like this. It's Liberty's Welcome. And even though this looks small here, it is deceptively big. This one has a stitch count of, let me get my glasses on here for a second. I try not to wear them so they don't reflect too bad, but I'm not using my ring light today. It was reflecting too badly, so I'm going to see how the lighting goes, not having that little ring light on. The stitch count is 349 by 211, so it's a pretty big piece. I've seen some other floss tubers stitch this one. I think one is Lori from Crosshatch Quilts, I think. Is that her name? She showed her wall, her patriotic wall, and this was on it, and it was so pretty. But Plum Samplers, Liberty's Welcome. And I have this one kitted with a piece of Lugana, which is an even weave, and it is a 32 count taupe Lugana. So I have it kitted with that, and these are the floss colors for this one. And I pulled from stash for this one a lot. I think I had, I'll show you my scribbles. So I have a lot of Victorian motto in my stash from previous kits and flosses of the month and things like that I had from before. So a lot of times I'll use that in my kitting when I'm just kitting from stash because I have quite a bit of them. And this is my conversion. So I pretty much have changed every color, except for I do have a couple of the DMCs, the 822 and the 3371 for the really dark and the really light color. But everything else is switched. Instead of using the NPIs or DMCs, I pulled my own overdyed flosses conversion, except for these two DMCs. So that's my own conversion, and I'm going to do it, like I said, on taupe Lugana. So I'm hoping that even the lighter color will show up well enough in this one. So this one's going to be a July start. I like to do my patriotic stuff in the summertime. It just feels summery to me, the patriotic, because you have Memorial Day, Flag Day, 4th of July, things like that. It just seems like a patriotic time of year. So I've got that one set aside to start this summer. And then the next one is a summer piece that I'm planning on starting this summer. And this one is by Cottage Garden. Let me get all the pieces out here for you. Oops, I don't have these all in a nice... I have the floss drop in the bag, but I didn't put them on it. I mean, my floss ring. But this is Summer at the Shore. And let me take it out of the plastic. Try to do the plastic away from the microphone, so hopefully it doesn't make too bad of a noise. Do it down here and out of the way. This one is the one with the seagull on it. He's sitting on out by the ocean with the lighthouse and the ship and the starfish. So this one is called Summer at the Shore. So I was thinking of starting this one this summer. And I have a mix of threads here. Again, I kitted this one from Stash. So I've got a lot of Victorian mottos in here and a few other, like a Weeks Dye Works, a couple of Gentle Arts, and the 3799 in white. I'm just going to use the dark and the light from DMC. But you can see that I switched, oops, I switched out again most of the colors there. And this one's good. I've set aside a piece of 16 count Country French Cafe Mocha to stitch this one on. So this is 16 count Country French Cafe Mocha. And this is a Zweigart Aida. This one's actually a kind of a soft Aida. Some of them are stiff, more stiffer, but this one's, it's a fairly soft one. So I think I'm really going to enjoy stitching on that one. And I do have a little floss ring that I've made, put some little charms on that look summery with the starfish and the shells on it. But I haven't put my flosses on there yet. They're just all stuffed down in the bag. So I'm going to have to get on it and do that so that when I pull this one up, it's all ready to go. So this one is another planned summer start. And it's just in a mesh bag that I picked up from Amazon. I get, you can buy like, I think packs of 12 of them for, I don't know, 20 bucks or something. And then the next one will be a fall start. This is a bag I made. And it just has a little key charm on it for the zipper pull. So I know it's a fall one because I got it in a fall themed bag here. And this one is Plum Street Sampler's Turkey Bay. I'm just going to leave my glasses on since I have to read so much. I hope that doesn't glare too much. But Turkey Bay by Plum Street Samplers. And this is what this one looks like. And this one I find hilarious. This one is not that large of a piece. This one is only 122 by 81. But it looks like it's a pilgrim. It looks like, you know, he's looking through his spyglass. It looks like he's searching for something. And I just imagine that he's searching for turkeys for his Thanksgiving dinner. And there's turkeys all around him in the water, on top of on his boat, everywhere, you know, and he's looking. It just would be hilarious to me if, you know, I don't know if that's Paulette's thinking when she made this, that, you know, the pilgrim looking for his turkey. And I have this one kitted up with, what's my fabric here? And like I said, this one's not, I need to cut that serging fabric thread there. But I just have a small piece of fabric because it's not going to take a whole lot. This is 16 count vellum Aida fabric. And then I have my flosses already picked out. And these, I think, nope, I was pulling from my stash. I do that a lot. I kind of convert. I go what it looks like the colors are. I explained it way back, probably like 3 months ago in a video, how I pick my colors. But you can see I copied the sheet that has all the colors on it, the color key. And then I go and I changed all of the flosses, you know, or probably all, but it looks like I have a couple of them. Looks like I have maybe about 3 or 4 of the colors, the called for colors, and the rest are things that I picked. So that is Turkey Bay. I plan on starting this one this fall. And for me, that is a fairly small piece because it's not that big. It's not, I don't have a whole sheet of fabric set aside to stitch that one on. Another one that I have a set aside for this fall, and this one is in a Goose bag. And this one uses some of the Teresa Kogut material. I don't have these on the, oh yeah, I do. These are just the extras. So this one has the Teresa Kogut, For the Love of Nature, I think it is called. Her fabric on the inside, and then the outside of the bag has this fabric. This one is Heartstring Samplery's Coffee Quaker. I'll take it out of the bag for you guys. Let you see it. And it looks like this. And I love the saying on it. It says, first I drink the coffee, then I do the things. And I pretty much start every day with coffee. And we have a little coffee service area in our dining room right off our kitchen. And I'm thinking of trying to put that near there. So I love this one because, you know, like I said, coffee. And then this one, I'm going to try a different piece of fabric. This is one that I picked up from the Steel City Stitchers retreat in February. And from the Crafty U, their pop-up shop that they did at the hotel where we were retreating. And this one is a piece of 28 count in the color flax, but it's a linen Aida. So I'd never heard of a linen Aida before. So it's a 20 count Aida, but it's linen. And the color flax. It is stiffer, little scratchier feeling, but I think it'll be perfect to try, you know, do the Coffee Quaker on, because these are the colors. And it's, you know, with this kind of a natural color, this flax color, I think it's going to go really well with the floss colors. I am missing one. This one is kitted with all the called for flosses, but I'm still looking for Gentle Arts maple syrup. I have looked online at a couple of resources, and I've looked at In Stitches when I was there, and I will be going to Ocean City, and I'll be going to Salty Yarns next month, so I'll look there. I'll keep looking for maple syrup for a little while, and if I can't find maple syrup, I'm going to go ahead and just pull something from my stash that'll work. So that is the Coffee Quaker by Heartstring Samplery, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. And I went ahead and I just made myself a little key card. I tried to draw the symbols best I could. I'm not real good at that, but the symbols are in here on like page 2 of the design. And I thought, well, I don't want to have to keep flipping back and forth to find my color key. So I just wrote it on an index card. And I went ahead and wrote maple syrup in there. But if I can't find it, then before I start stitching it, then I'll just, like I said, I'll just switch it out. I'll mark it out off of that and switch to whatever color. I think I have one called something cider by, I don't remember if it was Classic Colorworks or General Arts, that I think might work in place of maple syrup. So that's my thinking on that. But I have until, you know, a few months to still look and find that. So that's my coffee Quaker. And then when we get into the winter, you know, my nose, every Flosstube video, I think I have both of my dogs are in here now, so hopefully they'll be good and quiet. I thought I heard the other one come in. One's laying on the bed and one is sniffing around in here. I don't know what she's looking for. If you saw on my Instagram when it said, you know, your favorite snacks, I do keep chocolate in here. I have a whole drawer full of chocolate, and I have a bowl with some peanut M&Ms sitting right here on my desk. So I do keep chocolate in here, but food, not really. So I don't know what she thinks she's sniffing around for. But this one is Teresa Kogut. This one I'm going to start, I think in November was when I was thinking of starting this one. And this is, I'm sure you've seen this one. This one is Heaven in Nature by Teresa Kogut. Let's get it out of here. And it looks like this, and I think it is gorgeous. I've seen some people stitching on this and just, I love it. But look at the stitch count. It looks like it says, I'm reading it backwards, 248 by 360. So it's going to be a good size piece. And I did pick up several skeins of the red color because that house alone is probably going to take more than one skein of floss. So here are my flosses. It's all kitted with Weeks Dye Works, all the called for. Imagine that. It looks like I'm missing. Oh no, I guess I just, except I have a note here. I'm going to use Weeks Dye Works Porpoise in place of Joshua Tree. And then, so everything else is the called for. And the piece of fabric I have selected to stitch this one on is a piece of 16 count Aida in the color Beach Walk. I picked this up at Salty Yarns, and that was where I also picked all of the flosses up to kit this one. So Beach Walk, 16 count Aida in the color Beach Walk, and I have a good size piece here. So because this is going to be, I had it cut to size with a 3-inch margin. You know, give me a 3-inch border. So my piece of fabric is a decent size because it's going to be a decent size project. You know me, I like my BAPs, my big projects. So I've got that one planned for this year. And that's why also I have to be careful at how much I do start. I have a lot already started and a lot on my radar I want to start. And plenty more. Put it back in there and just throw it all back in the bag. Oh, and this one is a So Much to Love bag made with the Teresa Kogut's fabric. And even though it's not exactly the one for this one, I think this one's for something. I can't remember the name of it. But it looks a lot like the deer and everything that she has in this one. So I kitted it up in here in this bag with all of its beautiful flosses and a piece of fabric, piece of Aida to put that one on. Teresa Kogut, at least any that I have stitched of hers are just straight up cross stitches. So you can easily stitch hers usually on Aida. She doesn't use specialty stitches or fractional stitches, not on any that I have. So so if you're an Aida stitcher and you were wondering, Teresa Kogut's a good one. This one is by Bygone Stitches, and it's Quaker Christmas 2. And it looks like this. Hopefully you can see that well enough. This one, I love it because it has all of the names of a lot of favorite Christmas carols and hymns. And it's just charted to be stitched with a red. It's charted for Gentle Arts, Currant and Blue Spruce. And instead I went in and I just picked from my large supply of Victorian Motto, and I picked so that I would have a little bit of color variation, but they all match pretty closely because I need a lot of red for this one. So I picked several of my red flosses, but see how they all look very similar? And I will do different Quaker motifs in the different colors, and I'll just switch them around and move it around. But each of these are 20 yards, and I have 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. So that's 120 yards of red. And I have 2 greens that I picked out, 2 different greens that are very, very similar. One's a little lighter than the other, but they're very similar in color. And I think they're all going to go nice. So 120 yards of red. This one called for 115 yards of currant. So, and that's to stitch it on 28 count. The called for is Light Exemplar by Lakeside Linens. Because this pattern is 240 stitches by 350. So there again, it's another big one. It's probably going to take me a little while to stitch up, but I'm in no hurry. And I picked out a piece of 32 count lamb's wool Lugana. So I have lamb's wool. Take it out of this one. I kitted up at Salty Yarns. I did grab a few different. Well, I got the fabric from Salty Yarns. I had them cut me a piece of this lamb's wool 32 count Lugana, and then I pulled my red and green threads. Unfold this some more. To stitch on this piece. Let me see if I can get a hold of all of it. So I think it's going to look really nice. It's just an off-white, you know, kind of a very, very light beigey tan color is what lamb's wool is. And then with all these reds and greens, I should have plenty, because the green, the blue spruce, you needed 25 yards, and each Victorian Motto has 20 yards. So I actually have 40 yards. I knew I needed more than just one. So I picked 2 of those and several of the red colors I have. So that is my Christmas Quaker 2 by Bygone Stitches. Just kind of tuck it all in, and it's just in one of these zipper mesh bags. I have some Christmas fabric to make some more Christmas bags. So when I do that, I think I'm going to be putting this one in a Christmas looking project bag, but in the meantime it is in this mesh zip bag from Amazon. And the last thing that I have in this bag, the last couple of things are I would consider it kitted, but I have all of the Prairie School or Santas. I have all of them except for the one that just came out for this year. So I think they date all the way back to 1984 or 85, something like that, to present. So I have some of the Santas revisited, and then I have some of the single ones on the cards. But I have pulled a lot of the main called for DMCs, and I want to stitch them all on 18 count Vintage Country Mocha. I've already stitched up one Santa, so I have a couple of more pieces of the Vintage Country Mocha 18 count Ada, and I have one piece with the one that I have kitted to start. But I have these all together in one bag, so whenever I'm ready to start on a new Santa, I just can go in this bag and pick the Santa, and the reds and greens pretty much, and I think some of the gold and brown colors stay pretty much the same throughout, and the white and the darker, the black looking color. But there might be just 1 or 2 DMCs that I need different for each of the different Santas. For the most part, it's they're most of the way kitted in this, this plastic bag here. So I can just pick out a Santa, maybe pick up the other couple of DMCs I don't have, or look in my DMC stash. If you saw my craft room tour, you saw my drawer that has all of my DMC and how I keep that all stored. And then these two, they already, this is kind of a cheat. They already came kitted. But I have these and I want to try to start one of these this year. And I have the Mill Hill kits. These are on perforated paper, and I have latte and cappuccino. And they come kitted with the perforated paper, all the beads, buttons, and threads, and even a needle. Beading needle and a regular floss needle to complete these two projects. And like I said, for my coffee service area, I thought that these would look really nice. I picked these up at Keepsakes during StitchCon. They had the models stitched up in there, and they only had one of each left. So I picked these up and wanted to start those. So that is the end of the basket of all of the, oh, wait a minute. Oh no, wait a minute. Two of these fell down in here. I got two more. I'm gonna cheat you guys. These are two more fall starts, autumn things I want to start, you know, in like September, October time frame. And the first one, and these are two that are fairly small. These are not super large. I do have to mix some smalls in there so I can get some finishes done here and there. But this is Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers. Love those little puppies. And I love sweater weather. I always tell my husband, when it's hot here in Virginia, and it's hot, it's humid, it's been 90 something degrees for days on end, and the humidity, you know, you go out and you just sweat. When the weather starts to cool off and you can actually wear a sweater, you know, jeans and a sweater, a lightweight sweater, or like a hoodie that I have on now, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven. So I always tell him I love sweater weather. So I had to get Sweater Weather for that reason, and the cute little puppy dogs that are on here. So this one is Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers, and I have this one kitted with a piece of 16 count Aida by Picture This Plus in the color Mellow. So it's a very, very light yellowy, very pale yellowy color. And I have it kitted with, it looks like all the DMCs. And here's some serging thread that's in the way. Always leave long pieces of serging thread. I usually, when I get started stitching on them, I have to cut those off. But nice, beautiful fall autumnal colors. And this fabric is a very, very light, creamy yellow. Like I said, it's called Mellow. Mellow Yellow. So you can see it's got just a little, very slight, it's almost like butter. Color yellow, like a buttercup. So that one is one that I have that I want to stitch up this fall, get started anyway. Don't know if I'll get it finished, but I want to get it started. And it's in just a mesh zipper bag. And this other one is by Tra-La-La, and it's called Enotome, and it's a little witch with her little mouse friend and some pumpkins. She is darling. She is so cute. She is only 87 by 98 stitches, and she's from Tra-La-La Enotome. And I have her kitted up. What do I have to kitted up with? DMCs, all the called for DMCs for her. And a piece of platinum 18 count Aida. This was a piece that was left over from years ago when I used to have a LNS here in Fredericksburg called Everything Cross Stitch. And look at the price. There were two pieces, 10 by 12, two pieces for $3.01. I wish now. So this is just a piece from my stash of 18 count, did I say? Yes, 18 count platinum Aida that was in my stash. So it's not very big. She's not a very big piece. So she should fit on this with all of the called for DMCs. So she is another one that I'd like to get started this this fall. I have not done any of the Tra-La-Las yet. I have a couple of their patterns, but this will be the first one that I'll actually start stitching on. I don't think I've stitched on any yet. None come to mind. So now that empties that basket. So those are ones that are on my radar to start for this year. Let me get this pile away from the wheels of my chair. There we go. So now we're going to start on the bins that are in my crafting closet. And these are separated by categories. So this first bin has fall and Halloween in it. And the first one is, this is just in a bag. I think I picked this up at Walmart and I thought, well, I'll make a neat craft storage kind of bag. I have the pattern in that little front pouch. And then there's an inside pouch. I think these are actually were marketed to put like bathing suits in the summertime, like if your kids go to swim camp or something. This one is by Corey Ebetakori, and this one is Halloween in Quilt. It looks like this. And I have not started stitching on any of the Corey Ebetakori, I don't believe yet, but I do have few of their patterns, and I think they are so adorable. I mean, look at this little witch girl down here. Isn't this cute? And, you know, just all of the pumpkins, the little Halloween looking house. It's just adorable. So this one, I have it kitted up with all of the DMCs, the called for DMCs. So I just have them here. Of course, those look all beautiful fall colors. And then I have a piece of 16 count doubloon Ada. So this one is kind of a yellowy tan, lightly mottled piece of fabric. And then I have all of the different colors. So, and they do have quite a few color changes in their designs. So I know this one's going to be one that I'm going to want to work on when I don't mind having a bunch of color changes. This one is 160 by 240 stitch count. So, but adorable. Love it. So I am I have that one all kitted up because I would like to start this one sometime soon. So that is, let me see if I can tuck it all back down in this little bag. Put that piece of plastic in there. So that is one of my ones out of my Halloween and fall stash. And then I have another one here that I I thought I would start it last year for in the fall. And I didn't. So I have this one all kitted up. It's from the Cricket collection, and it's Playing with Jax, Jax. And it comes with a couple of little bonus patterns that are on the back. So here's the name, Playing with Jax, Jax. And there is, oh, well, the other bonus pattern is there's an alternate if you don't want the jack-o'-lantern face on your pumpkin and you just want a decorative pumpkin, you know, kind of how like this pumpkin is, then you could switch for that option. And they do include that with the chart. This one, I have kitted it with all of the called for DMCs. And these are bobbinated in one of these little bobbin boxes that you can pick up at Walmart. And I do not have a piece of fabric set aside for this one. I think I did, but I stole it for another project. So I don't have a piece of fabric in this one right now. But I do have a fabric stash. So when I'm ready for that one, I might look through my stash. The next one I have is from Little House Needleworks. And this one is called Autumn Band Sampler. I'll take it out of the plastic bag I have it in. So it looks like this. Autumn Band Sampler. And I have it kitted with, and I'm sure that, yeah, the called for Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks flosses. So I do have all those set ready for it. And a piece of 16 count Aida. It's a mystery Aida. This just looks like, to me, like white chocolate. It's a very light tan color. So I have a piece of 16 count Aida set aside, and the called for colors. Now sometimes I do switch my fabrics out, you know, but right now I have it kitted with this piece because, like I said, this one is not on my radar to start anytime soon. And my, you know, as I acquire different pieces of material, sometimes, you know, I change my mind on things. So you never know. But right now I have that piece of Aida sitting in there with that one. And then this next one, I wanted to do all three of these. This is a Prairie Schoolers. They're called the Autumn Samplers. And this is a reprint. So it's just the paper. And I liked all three of these. So I actually have material to do all three of these in my kit. I don't have any flosses, but I have 3 pieces of 16 count Beautiful Beige set aside to stitch all 3 of these on. So this was way back when I first was getting back into cross stitch. I went ahead and cut my fabric. Now I don't usually cut it as, you know, so quickly, because I may change my mind by the time I get around to it. But I did already cut these this fabric into sizes for these 3 pieces. So even if I change my mind, they're still decent sized pieces of fabric and I can use them for something else. But right now I have this one kitted with all of the fabric for it. And Prairie Schooler just uses DMC, so that would be easy for me to finish kitting when I am ready to stitch on this one. And I just, every time I look at it, I can't figure out which one I would start first. So, because I love them all equally. So that makes a dilemma for me. But I do have 3 pieces of 16 count Beautiful Beige Aida set aside for all 3 of those. So the next fall piece I have kitted up is by Plum Street Samplers. And actually, I was seeing somebody, I was watching Lisa, the Kindred Stitcher, earlier today, and she was showing her finish on this piece, and I thought, I have that. And I was looking on my charts that are on my carousel that are just charts, they're not kitted. And I thought it was there. I didn't realize I'd already kitted it. But this is the Plum Street Samplers, the Gather In. And she had finished this, and I thought, I have that. And I do. I need to probably make a spreadsheet and put everything that I have on it so I don't start purchasing duplicate patterns, thinking I have it and I don't. But this one, I do not have a piece of fabric set aside for it yet, but I do have all of the called for, it looks like there are Weeks Dye Works, and I have some DMCs down in here. So I do have my flosses set aside for this one. And like I said, then I would just go in my fabric stash, see if I had something to work for this, and I could start on this one. I always want to have a rainy day stash. I never know if we get snowed in, say, and I get the urge to start something, like say I decided, yeah, I really want to start this. Then at least I already know I have all of the flosses, and I can look through my fabric stash, and if I have something that'll work, I could start it. So that's why I kit things. Sometimes I steal out of kits, like I had stolen that one piece of fabric out of that one. This one goes along the lines with the Halloween Quilt by Corey Ebetacore. And this one is called, well, this one's in Italian, because Corey Ebetacore is an Italian designer. But is it Se Personiani and cerca de Halloween. It's like personal Halloween pin keeps, I think is what it translates to. And my Italian is not very good. But aren't these so cute? There are all 6 patterns in here. And if you're looking for it, that is the name of this pattern. So you can screenshot that or write that down, pause the video if you were interested in this one. And it is by Cori e Battacore. And I just picked this one up off of 123stitch.com. And they may even still have it. Here again, another dilemma. I would not know which one to start first. I love them all equally. I mean, look at those. They are adorable. Those are so cute. And I have the called for DMCs for all 6 of them. So I have the DMCs kitted for it. And like I said, all I would need is a scrap piece of fabric to stitch any one of these on. So I'm sure I have something in my stash that would work, or even something big enough to stitch all 6 on the same piece of fabric. This one is a Halloween one that I picked up at Keepsakes, the annex at StitchCon, and it is by Sue Hillis, and it's called Witch Hat? Question mark. They had the model of this stitched up over there, and see, they show where you can do each hat separately and make tiny little ornaments with them, or you could stitch the whole thing together. And it was so pretty and so colorful and so cute. She even has a lot more designs, Sue Hillis. So it was hard for me to pick which one. I have this one kitted with a 16 count piece of Aida in the color Sprite, which is a very, very light lilac kind of color. And then I have all of the called for DMCs. Aren't these beautiful? Look at those beautiful colors, those greens, those purples, oranges, and you know, mellowy kind of orange colors. Pretty. So I have this one all kitted up to start because I thought I would start it last fall, and I just didn't. I didn't get around to it. Something else caught my eye, you know, squirrel. I do that a lot. I do it a lot. I want to stitch all of the things, but I don't have time in my day to stitch all of the things all of the time, so I have to pick and choose. And even at that, I still end up with a lot. So that was one of my little Halloween kitted projects. Another one that I picked up at Keepsakes last June during StitchCon when I went to Keepsakes. I saw this model stitched up and I thought that it was really sweet. And this one is by Waxing Moon Designs, and it is Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. This one didn't look like it would take me too long to do. Just a nice, cute little Halloween piece. This one is 107 by 84. Not super big. And I have a piece of fabric for it. I have a piece of shale that was a 16 count Aida in the color shale, which is kind of a grayishy taupe modeled fabric by Picture This Plus. And I have some of the called fors. And then I thought when I go to stitch it, it doesn't call for a lot of different threads. I have the gray, I have the DMC black, the 310, the gray and the green color. So I think all I need is the orange color, because there's not a lot of colors in this one. It calls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors, and I have 3 of them. So, and I have a stash of threads, so I could always see if I have anything that would work if I did want to pull it out and start working on this one. But that's how far I have this one kitted. I do have half of the called for threads and a piece of material for this one. What do we got? One more that's in my kitted for fall and Halloween. This one is a Prairie Schooler. It's called Pumpkin Patch. And this is another one of their reprints. Take it out of this plastic, but it's still in the plastic protector that it came mailed in. And I like it all, My plan was to stitch this one though, but I also like, they have all of the, you know, I might could, you know, if I ever wanted to do like a Halloween tree or some little pillows or something, I could, you know, stitch each of these separately and make some cute little ornaments with that. But it says, see the yellow pumpkin, fat and round, growing in a patch on the ground. It will make a jack-o'-lantern with 2 big eyes, or maybe I will bake it in 2 fat pies. So cute. You could even stitch just this corner part as a small. I love it. And for this one, I just have the called for DMCs. All the, you know, they look very fall colored. And this one would be easy for me to find a piece of fabric in my stash to start this one up. Sometimes I don't want to hold too many supplies hostage in my kitted stuff, you know, just in case. And like I said before, I have stolen out of some of these. So, so that's all of the Halloween and fall pieces that I have that were in this bin over here. So I'm going to kind of throw them back in this bin and get this bin out of my way. It's got stacked on top of the other two. And then the next bin, let's see, this one here. I'll start with my Christmas, since we're into seasonal. All of my Christmas winter kitted projects that I have. I think she's afraid my avalanche of stuff is going to fall over on her. My one dog's moving. She's coming over here. Yeah, Mommy's got stuff all over the floor, doesn't she? This is by the Prairie Schooler, and this one's called Christmas Eve. And I picked this up last fall and thought I was going to start it, you know, this past Christmas. And I didn't get around to it. Love it. I saw some people stitching this one. But I did kit it all up. I picked a piece of 16 count Country French Golden Needle Ada by Zweigart. And the DMCs. So I have all of the called for DMCs and a piece of Country French Golden Needle by Zweigart. So have this one all kitted up. Like I said, that's the Prairie Schooler Christmas Eve. I have seen where, and I was looking at the DMC colors, down in that snow, it actually says Noel, Merry Christmas, Peace, Love, and something else, Joy, I think. But it's very, very, very hard to see. And I saw somebody else stitching this where they changed the colors so that they showed up a little better. And I'm probably going to be doing that too, so that you can actually see the words in the snow. Because it's almost like, what's the point in stitching them in there if you can't really see them? So that is one of my Christmas pieces. This one is a winter piece. This one is by Little House Needleworks. And this is the winter band sampler. I had the autumn band sampler. I think I have all seasons, but this one is kitted also. And I have, well, I only have a piece of fabric. I don't have, but this one, what does this one call for? Well, it has, you can do, it just called for DMC colors is all. So I knew, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different DMC colors. But I have a piece of 16 count Dirty Ada set aside to stitch this one on. Because I like to pick fabric that when it has white in it, these winter pieces, see all the white snowflakes and the white bands and the white snow. I want the white to show up. And I do know that on Dirty Ada, and I think Vintage Country Mocha, and there's another one that I have stitched white on before, and it shows up really nice. This one is by Abby Rose Designs. This is a winter Christmas piece, but you could leave it out all winter because it doesn't necessarily look completely Christmas to me. And this is called Hometown Christmas by Abby Rose Designs. It looks like this. Very, very cute. That sign says needle shop, town hall, and candy. It's a candy shop, a needle workshop, and the town hall. So cute. And I have this one all stitched up. It looks like I didn't copy it. I ended up writing on my original. So this was back when I was very first back into cross stitch. So I wasn't thinking about, oh, I might want to pass this chart on to somebody else when I finish it. And so I wrote my color conversions, but I did kit it up. And this is kitted up with, this is Coffee and Tea Dyed by Me, because I can see the where I baked it in the oven and put some modeling in it on this side. I like this side a little more because it's a little more less mottling in it, not as severe. This one has quite a bit of mottling run right in the where the fold is. So this is just a piece of white Aida that I coffee and tea dyed myself. And and then all of the flosses that I have picked. So this one I kitted back when I was first getting back into cross stitch a couple of years ago. So, you know, like I said, I just coffee and tea dyed a piece of white Aida and then pulled some DMCs and a few of the classic color works that I had in my stash. So that is, and I can always change my mind, you know, on the fabric and see if I can get the called fors if I want to. Usually when I pick my floss colors, they usually work fine most of the time, 90% of the time. I like the colors I pick, so I don't have a problem with my conversions that I do. So this next one is a Christmas piece, and it again is in one of those bags I picked up at Walmart that has a front vinyl part and then an inner part. And I think I have a couple of projects in this one because there were a couple of smalls. This first one is a Quick It by Lizzie Kate. So it is just, it says, "Be naughty, save Santa a trip." I just thought that was so cute. And this one has, it comes with the 3 little buttons. I can't really show you that because the inside is the pattern, but there are 3 tiny little buttons on here on the Christmas tree off to the side. And it does come with the little buttons. And then it just calls for, you know, green and red thread. So here's my flosses for this one. They might even be the called for. Actually, no, it calls for a couple of other colors. I need a white, which is B5200, so I could pull that out of my stash. And I think there's one other color I don't have. But I have these 3. And I had this tiny piece of fabric. This is just a remnant, so it's a mystery. It looks like Legacy by Picture This Plus, 16 count Aida. Not super sure on the color, but it's the one that is very, very slightly green mottled. So the greens and reds are going to look nice on there. So that is that tiny little one. And what else do I have in here? I must have the other one in the inside pocket. So I just need a couple of more threads for that one, and that one's completely kitted. So when I want to do a little small, I can pick out these. Now this one I kitted up at Keepsakes when I was there for StitchCon last year. And this is another Lizzie Kate Quick It, and it says, "Where's the party?" I saw it, I thought it was adorable, and so I picked this one up at Keepsakes. And then I went ahead and got all of the DMC colors. In fact, maybe a couple of the DMC colors for the other one are here with this one. And it comes with all of the little gold, tiny gold beads that are on the top of his boots there. You can see that. So it does come with those. Where's the party? And I picked up a 28 count piece of Jobelan in the color Lime to stitch this one on in all of the colors. It's a pretty green. Let me put it against this white board. It's a very pretty green color. And I have plenty. I could stitch something else on this. I went ahead, I think this was the piece they had left, and I said, yeah, just give me the whole thing. And it doesn't say how big it is, but it's a decent sized piece. So I only need a small piece for the pattern, and then I can stitch something else on this really pretty lime colored fabric. So those are two little tiny Christmas ones I have, or I even thought I could stitch it more than once and give it as a gift. I have plenty of fabric to probably stitch this thing like 6 times on that fabric easily. The next piece is a winter piece, and this is by Little House Needleworks. And this one is called Winter Plaid. And it looks like this. And this one is one that's not very big. This one is not, the stitch count is 95 by 124. And I have this one kitted up with a piece of 16 count Aida. And this is Country French Cafe Mocha, a little piece. See all this little surging fabric? It's the threads. Those drive me nuts. I don't know why, but they do. I have to cut that off. And then I have the called for DMCs and Weeks Dye Works and Classic Color Works here. And the one Weeks Dye Works it calls for. So I have all of the called fors for this one. And then I have this piece of Aida. And like I said, it is a Witchelled. It's a Country French Cafe Mocha Aida, 16 count. So I had that set aside to do this one. This one's a softer Aida. It's not as crunchy. I'm finding that I don't really care as much anymore for the stiffer Aidas. I have stiff Aida and I'll still stitch on it, but I prefer the overdyeds or the ones that are just, you know, a nice softer material usually. I mean, I put it on my Q-snap. It doesn't matter that it's stiffer, but I think like this one might be one of the stiffer Aidas. This is a Country Cottage Needleworks. And this one is called Snowflake Serenade. And it looks like this. Very, very cute. This one is only, what is this one? This one is 118 by 153. So it's a little bit bigger, not too big. And I have this one kitted with a piece of Aida. And see, this one's a little stiffer. In fact, this one might be one, this is one I coffee and tea dyed. So it's probably another piece of that same coffee and tea dyed fabric that I did a while back. And I have these floss drops I made from some gift tags, some Christmas gift tags, since this is a winter one. So these are the DMCs, and then I have 2 Weeks Dye Works that were called for it. And I have a piece of coffee and tea dyed 16 count Aida. The coffee and tea dyed is another one that shows the white, usually. Really nice. It's another kind of tanny brown color. And the whites usually show up really well on my coffee and tea dyed fabrics. So that is for this Snowflake Serenade by Little House Needleworks. Or Country Cottage Needleworks, sorry. So that is another winter one. And then I have one more kitted up here. And this one is by the Tra-La-La. Another cute little one. And it actually is two different patterns. And I like both of them. So I could see myself eventually stitching both. But this one is called, what is this one called? Delivery Day. It's a jeu de livraison. by Tralala. And look at him in the little sleigh. And then the little bunny down here. He's probably kind of hard to see because he's white. But that is adorable. I love both of those. And these are usually the Tralala's DMC. Yeah, it's just DMCs. So I have the DMCs, the called for DMCs. And then I have this piece of earthen, which is it has a little bit of a pink hue. But this is one that I was stitching something else on right here. This was summer delivery by Plum Street Samplers, I believe. I started stitching it on there and I didn't like how the horse just wasn't showing up enough for me. So I switched to like a blue piece of fabric and liked it much better for that one. I can still stitch on this other half and at least definitely get, you know, even this bigger one, because they're both I'll probably just finish as pillows. So I might even be able to get both of these on the rest of this piece of fabric, because the smaller one I might be able to get over here on this other half of this side. But this is a piece of earthen. It has just a slight, it's like a pinkish brownish piece of fabric that's got some mottling. It's by Picture This Plus and 16 count Aida. And these are the colors. So I think it's going to look really good. Oh, and my green is the anchor, the equivalent to whatever the DMC green was. My Joann's here has the color conversion for anchor to DMC to anchor on their display, and I couldn't find the green color in DMC, so I went over to the anchor and found the anchor equivalent for it. So it was, you know, so I do have one anchor and the rest is DMC for this the Tralala collection. Joy de Liberation, I think is how you say it. Tralala must be French, would be my guess. Took 4 years of French in high school. Like I said, know things, but I'm not an expert in anything. So let me throw these back down in this bag really quick, basket really quick. Now these are all of my non-seasonal. I'll just start pulling and get the rest of these out of the way. So they're like, you know, samplers or in different things. This one I kitted up at the Crafty U at Still City Stitchers Retreat back in February. They had this chart, so I went ahead and picked it up. And it is Cottage Garden, and it is the fox. I am sure most of you have seen this guy. In fact, Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, she stitched this thing up in no time, flat, and finished him. And he is gorgeous. So I kitted him up with a piece of fabric I picked up there at the Still City Stitchers Retreat. And this is a piece of Jody fabrics from, they're the Still City Stitchers, and Jody dyes fabric. And this is a 20 count Lugana even weave. And it's a beautiful blue. And then I have the DMC colors. So I think like those whites and things are all going to pop off of this. And even the orange of that fox. He is going to look really nice on this. She doesn't usually name her fabric, and I have a big piece here, so there's way more than I need for the fox. So the rest of this will end up going into my fabric stash. Beautiful piece of Jody fabric, the called for DMCs, and my fox. Isn't he going to be gorgeous on this beautiful blue? It's gorgeous. I saw that blue material and I thought, yes, I need to get that for the fox. Because blue is I believe it's called a complementary color to orange. And the fox is done in orangey colors. So he's going to look great in this piece of fabric. So that is that one. My next one is... oh, this one is another Cottage Garden samplings. I tell you what, I'm loving their patterns. I really do. They've come out with this new series this year, and the series they had last year, and then the Songbird Garden series. This was #1, and this one is called Forever and Ever. And I have seen several people stitch this one. 2 people that I've seen finish this one. If you want to see this one finished up, you could go back. I'm not sure how far back. Lori Schickalone from Once Upon a Stitch finished this piece. That's when I first fell in love with it and purchased it. And then Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough, she stitched and finished this one. She loves birds. She has bird feeders and does bird updates on her videos, and it's so fun to listen to her talk about the birds and how they're doing and all that kind of stuff. So Forever and Ever by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I have this one kitted with a piece of, it was 32 or 28, 32 count dark cobblestone Lugana, and all Luganas are an even weave. I don't stitch on linen. I do Aida or Lugana usually. I have not branched out to get into even linens yet. But these are the called for colors, all in DMC. And my piece of dark cobblestone that I have for this one. So, because the color here, I don't know what the called for is, but it looks kind of like a grayish piece of fabric. Oh, tin roof. 36 count tin roof linen from Weeks Dye Works is the called for, but I have dark cobblestone Lugana instead. And this one is deceptively big. When I saw Lori stitching on this, I thought, oh wow, I didn't realize it was that big. It's 159 stitches by 159 stitches. It looks like it would be like a little 5-inch or 6-inch chart, little finished piece, but it actually will measure out, I don't know if I figured on how big this one will be, but it'll probably come out to be, 12, 14 inches by 12 to 14 inches. A good size little piece, but I love this one, and I wanted to get this one started, and I kitted it, and I just didn't get around to it. It may, like I said, all these that are kitted are on my radar to start sometime fairly soon, but I just have so many on my radar, it's hard to pick. I sometimes feel like I could be Laura DeWitt's twin sister from Brenda and the Cereal Starter. She starts all the things. I'm a cereal starter myself. This one I've had, and I really, really wanted to stitch this last year, and I didn't get around to, so I have it kitted up. And this is Little House Needleworks, the Inn at Fox River Mill. And somebody on Instagram had just, I believe, finished this one. I saw them stitching on it, and I think they just posted a finish, or either that or they're very soon to be finished with this one. But I just love that design. It's so sweet with the mill here with the wheel. I guess they call them a paddle wheel on the river there. It's just beautiful. And this one, looks like I have it kitted with most of the colors, because this one is one of the ones that I kitted a while back, and I wrote on my original, and I put in all my conversions. But I have this one. I have a 16 count piece of lamb's wool Aida set aside for this one, with these threads. Some of them are the called for, some are my own picks. So that's what I have for this one. All kitted up and ready to go. Like I said, I thought I would get this one started like a year ago. And I just keep squirreling. Designers keep making new patterns, new things that I just have to start. And then I knew when I go through these that I would find things that I'm like, oh man, that's on my radar. I really, really, really want to stitch that one sometime soon. This one is another Lizzie Kate Quicket, and I don't have a piece of fabric in the bag for it, but it's so tiny that any little remnant will probably work for this one. And this one is called Live Simply. I just thought it was adorable and so cute. And so I have, and it's got beautiful, bright colors. So these are the colors, the Weeks Dye Works and a DMC. Beautiful bright colors. So, and this won't take any time to stitch up. This will be a nice, cute, quick. And it comes with the one little blue button right here. It's adorable. So I do have the flosses, and I just need a little piece of, little remnant of material that will complement these really bright, pretty colors. And I could start and stitch this one. Sometimes I think whenever I want just something small, I can look through my kitted stash and see what I got going on. So this one is a Little House Needleworks, and this one is called 4 Seasons. Looks like this. So it's got the 4 houses and the 4 different seasons. And I have this one kitted with a piece of thread there for some reason. It must have come off my floss drop. 16 count Amber Ada. And then I have all of the called for. Are they all called for? Yes, I must have all the called for. I didn't scribble and write all over this one. Mostly classic colorworks, a couple of DMCs. And the 16 count Amber. Amber's another color that white will really show up on. If you're looking for something to stitch and you want your whites to show up, like I said, Dirty and Amber was the other one, another one. And Vintage Country Mocha. And this isn't even white. This is eggshell. And it's still going to show up really nice on this piece of Amber Ada. And this is a stiffer Ada. This is one that's a stiffer. When I fold them, they always keep the crease marks and stuff, which are, it's fine. I've stitched on this stiff Ada for years, but I am finding now that there are so many over-dyed Adas and things like that out there that I really love all of the, and I'm getting more and more used to stitching on Lugana. So that has become a choice for me sometimes, especially if the pattern has, I'll pick Lugana definitely when it has like specialty stitches or half stitches now. But most of the Little House Needleworks, they're another one that's just straight up stitching, maybe some back stitch in it, but no specialty stitches. This one is my one and only Bent Creek that I have. And I thought I would start this one like a year or so ago. Never did. But it is kitted, and it is called the Begin Row. This is another one that I kitted from my stash. I picked there's several different green colors in this one. And so I went through and I picked some of my own greens. So this is what I have. I have some Weeks Dye Works, some Victorian mottos and DMCs and classic colorworks. I just went in and I just picked a bunch of different greens that looked nice and played well together for all of the different trees. And this piece of fabric, is it labeled? So 16 count Ada by Picture This Plus, I can tell. And I don't have, I want to say this is Heritage. This is the one that has a little bit of a green hued mottling to it. So all of these greens are going to look really nice on this fabric for this Begin Row. And the reason I don't have it labeled, and I kitted this back before I even thought about, you know, needing to tell people when, what color fabric it is. So it's a mystery because I don't have it on here anymore, but I want to say it might be Heritage. And I think that's the name of it anyway. But this was a long leftover remnant that I cut off of a bigger piece for something else. So it's a perfect size to do this long row on. Because this one, oh yeah, well, part of the pattern is here. But I did a conversion here. Can't tell, I'd have to open up the pattern to see the stitch count on this one, but it's a long skinny piece, like all of the rows are that Bent Creek does. So that is that one. And everything back in its little bag. The next one is a Jardin Privé. This one is called Sampler au Bouquet 2. And it looks like this. There are actually 3 altogether, and this is 2, because you can do them separately, individually, or you could get all 3 and put them together and make one long piece. But I just have the part 2. That's what it looks like, and it's by Jardin Privé. And I don't have a piece of fabric. I think I did, and I stole it for something else. But I have all of the DMCs. And this was, I kitted this one a while back. So I have all of these, and then the rest are on bobbins. So I have some floss dropped and some on bobbins. And so this one, all I need is a little piece of fabric. And I would do this one on a really soft, like a white or an ivory, light color, more than likely. Keep it on that light fabric because they have such delicate, pretty, kind of like mauves and blues for that one. And then this next one is by Jardin Privé, and this one is called Sampler aux Fleurs, so a flower sampler. And it looks like this. I think EJ from the Sunshine Stitchers is stitching this one. But I think she's not doing the colors. I think she's doing like it monochromatic, I believe. This one is 254 stitches by 190. And I do have a piece of 16 count Aida in the color Petals. And Petals is very, very, very light off-white. Kind of got a little, real slight, very, very slight pinkish hue to it. So something like that, even for the other Jardin Privé piece, would be pretty. And then I have all of the called for DMCs, which are, there again, they're like pinks and blues. So here's all the DMCs and my 16 count piece of Aida in the color Way Petals. P-E-T-A-L-S, Petals. And that is the Sampler aux Fleurs. Love it. This is another one I wanted to start, and then just got pushed to the back burner. But it is ready whenever I am. You never know with me. And all of these will end up getting started. This one is a La-Di-Da. And this one is called Little Brick House. And it looks like these. This one is not very big. I can't see. I would have to open up the package to see the stitch count. It's not real big. Cute little piece. I just thought the checkerboard house was so cute with the big potted plants next to it. So I have this one with a natural light 16 count Aida. This is another one of the stiffer Aida fabrics that's not over dyed. And I have it kitted with all of the DMC colors. I make a lot of my own floss tags with scrapbook paper that I have in my stash. So I use that scrapbook paper, had this little bauble that I hung off of it with a little tiny lobster claw. And for some reason, I think this might be an extra. I think I needed 2 of these. So I have the extra of this one. So everything else is all floss dropped and ready to go to stitch this one. And like I said, this is a 16 count natural light Aida for this one. For the La-Di-Da Little Brick House. Cute, 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 cute. Because I purchased these with the intent of stitching them. And then, I see more. So I purchased those with the intent of stitching them. in the meantime, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and kit it because I want to start it soon. And then other things fly into my radar. And the next thing you know, I have a kitted stash because I didn't get around to these. This one was a gift from a subscriber, somebody who watches my channel. And it is the Flea Market Finds by Lori Holt. And this was one that I had wanted to stitch. I saw a lot of people working on this one. They were stitching on this one. And I thought, at first I thought, no, I don't need it. And then I kept seeing it and I thought, that is pretty. And I really like it. Simple and pretty. So I have it kitted with a piece of 16 count Aida and all of the DMC colors, the called for colors. Let me see if I can see what Aida I have here. This is a very light gray, might be Icelandic gray, piece of 16 count Aida. It's one of the stiffer ones. So it's very, very, very light gray. You can see it against the whiteboard. And that's what I have picked out. And I'm thinking this is big enough. I might have to usually, I mean, I do my calculations. So those are all the called for, beautiful different colors. And this one make a really pretty spring stitch. Something to stitch on in the springtime when I'm ready for all the beautiful flowers. I did plant daffodil and tulip bulbs last fall. And all of my daffodils, my tulips haven't bloomed, but 90% of my daffodils have. Beautiful though, flea market flowers. And then this next piece is by GGR. And it is the La Belle Letters de Gigi. And this one is the letter V for Vicky. I saw it. I thought it was pretty. So I'm going to get it out of plastic here. So I had to get it. Look at the Eiffel Tower. Just all of the little, look at the bunnies with the umbrellas. So cute. A hot air balloon up here. So this one's all with the letter V and all different kinds of fonts with cute little motifs all through it. And it's by GGR. And I had found this lady, this dyer, floss dyer on Etsy. And I had purchased these to do this one in. Let me see if I can. Her Etsy shop is Fern Way Studio. Fern Way Studio, if you could see that. And this is the color Blue Ridge. And they're 10-yard skeins. And I picked up several so that I would have enough to do my pattern in. And I thought Blue Ridge, I love the purpley blue colors of this. But also the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. So love it. So pretty. Put it against white. I don't have a piece of fabric for this one set aside yet. I just got these glosses not too long ago. So I picked these up from Fern Way Studio on Etsy. Haven't stitched with these yet. Like I said, these were the only ones I have purchased from her. But she was quick in getting these shipped out to me. And now I have them set and ready to do my V. My La Belle Lettre de Gigi, the letter V by GGR. So, and I will probably just pick a piece of like antique white or ivory or something to stitch this one on with these beautiful purpley blue colors. The variegated flosses. So, I think they're going to be very pretty to use on this one. Stick all these back in the bag with it. I'm gonna keep myself together. The next one is, what do we got? What do we got? It's like a surprise bag down here. This one is by Country Cottage Needleworks, and this one is called Liberty Lane. It looks like this. Love those colors in that. So pretty, so soft. I have pulled out a piece of 16 count Water Lily Aida. And this is a remnant. You can see I scribbled out. So this one only measures 18 by 13 because I've already used a piece of this for something else that I'm stitching. And all of my DMCs that I pulled out for this were probably already in my stash from before. So they're all bobbinated. And they look like this. It's kind of hard to see. I won't be able to really show you. So I do have a selection of DMC flosses for this one. Is that what it calls for? Yep, it just calls for, and then 2 Gentle Arts colors. But there is a DMC alternative selected for it. So I have this one kitted in DMC with this piece of Water Lily Ada, 16 count Ada. So this one's all ready to go. And Water Lily is like a very light tannish greenish tan color of Ada. Next one is by Country Cottage Needleworks again. And this one is called Summer at the Shore. And it looks like this. And at the top it just says Summer at the Shore, and it says seashells and sunshine underneath. This one looks like it is DMC, and you can either use, they do have a couple of Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts, or they have the DMC alternatives. This one I have, and I may not use this because I'm not sure if I'm really a big fan of these. This is Artiste brand that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. It's a 28 count even weave in the color Ivory. And it's a very loose, thin, kind of very synthetic-y feeling. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it, but I have a piece of it. I might try it. I mean, it's not too bad. I may use it. But that's what I had this one kitted with. Because I kitted this a while back, and I picked that up, like I said, at Hobby Lobby. And then I do have all of the called for threads. I just knocked one on the floor. Probably an extra one. And then this is just a little charm that I picked up and put on my, it's got an anchor and a crab. Those just kind of baubles for my, and then I just made my own floss tags, and then here are all my colors, and I dropped one. See if I can reach it. And this is Tarnished Gold by Gentle Arts. So I think it's, I might already have it here. But this is what I have this one kitted up with. So put it all back in the bag. Most of my just kitted ones I just have in a big zippy plastic bag. I reuse plastic bags when, you know, maybe I get fabric from a store or something and they put them in plastic bags. I keep them, and then I re-kit my projects. You know, when I want to just kind of get something pre-kitted and put it there, just have it in my stash, I put it in these little Ziploc bags. This one is by Little House Needleworks, and this one is the Spring Band Sampler. Told you I had all the seasons. And it looks like this. Little Spring Band Sampler. And I have this one kitted with a piece of 16 count Ada. This looks like Dirty or Amber. This might be Amber. It's one of the stiffer Adas, 16 count. It's not over dyed. And DMC flosses. I have it kitted with the DMCs. So these are all of the flosses I have for this one. So this one's all ready to go. I think they're going to look nice on this because they're, again, like I said, these Dirty and Amber, like this is 712. This is more of a creamy color. It's not necessarily a white, but look how well that will show up, even a cream color. So imagine how bright a white would look on it if you wanted your whites to really stand out. So this is the Spring Band Sampler by Little House Needleworks. Trying to not get too much glare on there. I didn't, like I said, I did not plug in my little small circle light. What do I call those? Because it seemed like it was casting such a glare, and I don't know if it was worth the little bit of light that it was putting out, but it was putting out a big glaring one. This one is by, I might have another one in here too. Here we go. I know I had at least 2 more. This is by Stacy Nash Primitives, and this is, I already have one on the go, and I told myself I wasn't going to start these 2 until I finish the one I have started, and then I'll start another one, and then when I finish that one, I'll start the next one, because they're all very, very similar. And this is Stacy Nash Primitives, and this is Summer at Hollyberry Farm. I already have Gathering of the Greens started. And when I was watching Lisa Kindred Stitcher, she had this one started. She had some done up here at the top. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So I'm trying to only have one of these on the go at a time. So I told myself I can't start it until I finish the other one. And just like the Gathering of the Greens, I kitted this one from Stash. I want to show you guys the pattern. So this is my scribble. So I even have little notes out here. You know, the flag, what color to do that one in. So these are all my planned out, you know, my color changes for this Summer at Hollyberry Farm. I have a piece of 16 count amber Aida. Nice big piece. This is one of those stiff Aidas. You know, so that's what I have in here kitted to stitch this one on. And I don't have them in floss drops, but I have all of those flosses already picked out for this one. So I have this one already. I wanted to start it, and I was trying to decide which one to start first, and I picked the Gathering of the Greens. But these other 2 are sitting here in standby if I ever get Gathering of the Greens finished. I love all of these Stacy Nash Primitives Hollyberry Farm pieces. So the other one I have, I hope my avalanche doesn't fall over, because they're all in plastic, so and they're haphazardly placed there. It might start to slide off the table. The other Stacy Nash Primitives is the Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. And it looks like this. It's real hard to see because it's a very dark piece. It's just like I said, I had the Gathering of the Greens. It's so much prettier when you stitch it up. It's so hard to see. It's like, it looks very, very primitive in these pictures. So it's hard to see them. It looks like I, there again, picked out some of my own colors. Looks like I'm using a lot of the called for and only like a few that I had to pick out other pieces. And then I did something different with this one. I picked out a colored Aida. This one's called Stony Point, 16 count Aida. Stony Point. So another one of the stiffer Aidas. It's like a blue-green color. And here are a lot of my floss colors. This doesn't look like very many. Might have to look at that. But here's the colors that I have picked out for this one, at least so far, because it doesn't look like I have very many, does it? But this is what I have kitted for it. So, you know, I was thinking this bluey green color, Stony Point, you know, might be an interesting choice for this one. And it's a 16 count Aida, because I don't think any of these Stacy Nash, I don't believe they have any 1/1s, or I'll have to look at the pattern just to make sure, because I kitted this a while back. Because if it doesn't have any 1/1 or specialty stitches, then it's perfectly fine to stitch on Aida. And my pile is getting precarious there. But I have a few more. Let me grab the last few more out of this bin. And then I have one more bin still. My nose keeps itching. I don't know if my hair's tickling my face because I bend down and my hair gets in my face. This one is Little House Needleworks. And this one, Lori Schicklone is stitching this one. I just watched her latest video and she's got like 2/3 of this one done. And this one is called Little House, what is this one called? Little House Neighborhood by Little House Needleworks. And I've had this one in my stash for a long time, but I haven't started it. I saw her working on it, and she made me want to start working on it, but I said, no, Vicki, you got enough stuff going on, so don't. But I have a piece, right now I have it kitted with a piece of 16 count Aida in the color Amazing Gray. And I have all of the flosses for it, and I think they're all DMC. Yeah, I have it kitted with the DMCs. Is that what they call for? Yep, it's all called for DMCs. Quite a few different colors. You can see all that. So, and this will be, total stitch count is 177 by 232. And they stitched theirs on a 28 count purled barley linen from Lakeside Linens, and it came out to be 12.5 by 16.5. So mine will be 16 count. It could be a little bit smaller than that. But that's what I have this one kitted up with. And like I said, Lori Schicklone from Once Upon a Stitch, she is stitching this one up, and it is looking gorgeous. I have told her, I said, we have such similar taste, and because she's stitching on things I'm either also stitching on or I have in my stash that I want to stitch on. So, or it may just be that I have so much in my stash that I'd match anybody. This one is by the Scarlet House, and this one is called, my nose. I feel like I have a piece of hair or something in my face. So excuse me. This one is called Seeking Refuge. And not that long ago, I showed you I was working on the Scarlet House, A Perfect World. And the two pieces seem very similar to me, like this bottom down here that's fully stitched, and then a house with dogs and things. So I didn't want to start this one. I kitted it up because I was going to maybe start this one also. And then I thought, no, A Perfect World, I want to finish it before I start this one. I like them both, and then I think they'll look really nice hung together. And this one says, when the world seems to be out of control, I find a way to nurture my soul, seeking refuge with needle and thread, the angst and the anxiety no longer I dread. So I love this piece. And I have this one kitted. I don't have the flosses with it, but I have a piece of 32 count Lugana in the color Vintage Country Mocha. So it's the mottled Country Mocha fabric. Well, it's only mottled on one side. So if you didn't want the mottling, you could just turn it over and stitch on the other side. So I have this one in my stash with its piece of fabric. I just need to pull the threads for that one. The next one, this is one I did have two of, and I did in a giveaway one of them because I had two accidentally somehow. And this one is called, it is by Little House Needleworks, and it's called Poinsettia House. This one should be with my Christmas stuff, Christmas and winter. I don't know why it's not. And this one, I just have all of the threads. I don't have a piece of fabric yet, but I do have all of the threads pulled for this one. So there are a bunch of classic colorworks and a couple of DMC colors here. And then, do I have, yeah, I just have just a small little, sometimes I put little charms on my things. It's a little moon on there. And I don't have the piece of fabric, but this one's not very big, so a little remnant, 103 by 103. I was thinking like something that has maybe like a soft pink to it. I even have one piece, I think called Clay, that might look pretty on it. It's like a little bit of a rosy color to it. So I have that one. The next one is a Plum Street Samplers piece. And this one is called Welcome All Hearts Home. This is another one that should be with my winter and Christmas stuff. I don't know what happened. Welcome All Hearts Home. This is another one that's been in my stash for a couple of years, and I really was thinking I was going to start it and didn't get around to it, but really want to stitch this one. I don't have the fabric. I might have stolen it for something else when I was like, nah, I'm not going to be starting this one yet. But I do have all of the called for, and I'm dropping them on the floor because they're not on a ring. Why did I not put them on the ring yet? I just threw them in the bag with it. But I have all of the called for flosses. Looks like there are a lot of Gentle Arts. Yeah, I think it's all Gentle Arts threads. And I just love it. Isn't that pretty? So this one's will be 225 by 141. This one's actually bigger than it looks. So that one, 225. I wouldn't imagine that one to be that big. So that one, the next one should have been with my winter and Christmas also. These couple are out of order. They're out of order. This one is by Tralala. It's another cute little one. It's called La Forêt Enchantée Hiver. So it's, I want to say it's the Enchanted Forest Winter. Isn't she cute? Look at her little puppy dog in that wagon. So cute. And the little bird on the top of the tree with a little hat. Little mushrooms. Adorable. So this is Tralala. And like I said, let me show you the title. La Forêt Enchantée Hiver. If you were interested in looking for this pattern, I think I purchased this one off of 123 Stitch a while back. Have a little piece of fabric for it because she's not that big. This is a piece of 16 count Tyco by Picture This Plus. And she was one I was thinking of trying to start last winter. And then I didn't get around to it. Ooh. And I have all of the called for DMCs for her. So these are her colors. Beautiful. Some pinks and browns. I think they're going to look nice on this fabric. So that is her. She's a cute little girl with her little puppy in the wagon. Love it. I hope I'm not rustling too much for you guys. And if my nose doesn't stop itching. Oh, goodness. The last one in this bin is a Plum Street Samplers. This is one that's deceptively big also. This one is called A Shepherd's Song. And I have wanted to start this one forever. And this one is 285 stitches by 178. So I try to space out my big projects and not have too many going at a time. Isn't that beautiful? Love it. And right now I have it kitted with a piece of, I don't know why there's a piece of masking tape on it. Maybe I had the name written somewhere at one point, because this looks like it must be mystery piece of Lugana. Looks like 28 count. It looks like maybe platinum Lugana. And I'm not going to take them out of the bag because I'll probably drop them all on the floor. But I have all of the kitted with all of the Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, all of the flosses down in here. for this piece. Because I don't have them on a floss ring, and if I try to pick them all up out of there, I'll probably drop half of them on the floor like I did that other one, so I'm going to keep them safely in the bag there. That is the end of that bin. Now, the last ones that I have, and I'm going to need to excuse me for a minute while I throw them all back down in this bin, and I'll have to organize them later, but I'm running out of space on my desk, because if you saw the pile I have here, I have nowhere else to put anything. The last bin are all of my Mirabilia lavender and lace things that I have kitted up. Now, let me get this bin out of my way and pull this one closer. There we go. Maybe that'll work. I have explained before when I have showed in the past when I've purchased a Mirabilia or I'm going to get ready to start a Mirabilia, I have explained that I like to try to go ahead and get, they're usually charted with just DMC. They're not charted with fancy floss, except they may have Crinix, Rainbow Gallery, Treasure Braid, you know, fancy metallic-y type of threads, and they do have beads and charms and things like that. I try to at least grab those things for it because I have run into in the past where I had a lavender and lace piece. It was a Celtic lady. I think it was my summer Celtic lady. She was charted with water lily threads. I think it was some kind of thread that they didn't make anymore. When I decided I wanted to go ahead and kit her up to maybe start her, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to figure out how to do a conversion for her. So I always want to make sure that I grab all of the special charms and things like that for my Mirabilias, my lavender and lace, my fancy folk, my fancy people. So that if it takes me 5 years to start them and they don't carry, Mill Hill doesn't carry those beads anymore, or those particular charms, I don't have to worry about, now what am I going to do? How am I going to finish this piece? So I usually kit, or at least partially kit, my Mirabilias. I might not have the fabric, but I'll have all of the beads and the things like that. So this one, she's in a fancy Ziploc bag right now. And this is Mirabilia's Lady Justice. And I really thought I was going to start her last year, and I didn't get around to it. Like I said, there were so many I was going to start last year, and I already started a lot. I have a lot of whips. So some of them I had to put on a back burner for now, but this is Lady Justice. Isn't she gorgeous? I've seen people stitching her. And then I have her all kitted because I thought I already got the DMCs. I bobbinated them and put them in one of these little boxes, little floss box that I picked up, I think, at Walmart for like $2 or $3. And I went ahead and bobbinated them all. Bobbinating doesn't bother me because that's the only way I used to stitch before with DMCs, Ada, and everything was bobbinated. I like floss drops. I like floss away bags. And I don't mind bobbinating. So I have my projects kitted several different ways. And every way works for me. I'm not that picky. So because she usually a lot lavender and lace and Mirabilias and things, they call for a lot of different colors. So I'll bobbinate them and put them in a box. So I have all of her DMC bobbinated, and then I went ahead and I picked up her bead pack. A lot of times you can find the packs that are put together for particular Mirabilia projects. So I have her bead pack, and I went ahead and picked up the Crinix that she calls for. And there are a couple of Crinix. So I have these. So she is all kitted up and ready to go in her fancy dancy Ziploc bag. When I'm ready to kit her, she'll go in a nice project bag. But until then, you know, she's just sitting here in a Ziploc bag. But all of her, and it works. It works. There's nothing wrong with the Ziploc bag. Anything to keep my project together. That is the most important thing. As long as I can have all of my things all together in one bag, whether it be a gallon bag or a zippy mesh bag from Amazon, or a nice pretty project bag, whichever works, you know. So that is my first kitted Mirabilia. My next one, I loved this one and really thought I was going to get her started soon, but I have so many Mirabilias and lavender and lace projects right now that I don't want to overextend myself and get too many going. But this one is the Raven Queen. And I loved her. There's something with the teals and the blacks. And it's funny, I've always loved teal and black together. And my daughters both graduated from a high school that was their school colors. So it was always pretty, you know, the teal and black colors they had going on in their uniforms and stuff. So as my daughters were sports, cheerleaders and all that stuff. But I got the pack for her, the bead pack. So here's the Raven Queen's bead pack. She has a little bit more beads than the Lady Justice only had 3. She has several more. And I don't have hers all bobbinated or whatever, or floss dropped, but here are her DMCs. So I do have her DMCs pulled, and I have her bead pack. And I don't know if she comes with any Krynics, because she might not. Oh, she does come with one. She comes with a Whisper color and a Krynic. Oh, a few Krynics. Oh, and some water lilies. I still need to kit some more on her to make sure I have all of her fancy things that she needs. But I don't have a piece of fabric selected for her yet either. But that is the Raven Queen. The other thing with Mirabilias that I have found, because I'll tell you what, my unicorn chart is Autumn Queen by Mirabilia. They're only out for a limited number of limited time, and then they're done. And then you only can find them on the second-hand market for crazy, ridiculous prices. Some people will charge a couple of $100s for a Mirabilia, just the chart, because it's out of print. And I just don't want to pay that much. So the Autumn Queen is on my radar. She's one that I wished I would have got when it was out, and I didn't. So I try to pick them up. If I like them, I try to go ahead and get them, because I'd rather have them for the regular price than later on regretting it. But this one is the Summer Queen. I already have the Winter Queen in progress. Not very much progress, but I did start her the first of winter, which was right around Christmas time. So I haven't gotten a lot done on her, but this one's the Summer Queen. And I've got her DMCs, and I have her beads. This one didn't have a bead pack, but I was able to pick up all the beads that she had on her, listed for her. And I don't think she has any Krynic. Nope, just beads. Just beads and DMC, it looks like. So this is my, the Summer Queen. I don't think I have the Spring Queen either. Well, I don't have the complete set of the queens anyway, but I just thought the Autumn Queen was really pretty. I loved her colors. This one is a lavender and lace. I've had her forever. This is one I bought at Everything Cross Stitch, downtown Fredericksburg, years and years ago, when they still had a shop here in Fredericksburg, but they don't anymore, have not for years. This one is Celtic Christmas, one of the Celtic ladies. I collected all of these Celtic ladies, and I have 2 or 3 of them that I started years ago that I still need to finish. There are what I call my ancient whips. She is copyrighted 1995. And I probably bought her not long after 1995. I've probably had this for like 20 years easily. I have a piece of Natural Light Ada, 16 count, that I picked out for her. All of my Lady of the Flag and all of my angels and all of the ones that I have that are ancient whips that I have not finished, I stitched them all on 16 count Ada. So I have this piece picked for her because it looked very similar to the color chart that she's the model's stitched on. And then I have at least the beads for her, because I can pick up the DMC anytime, but I have all of her beads. I think she has a little bit of Krynic beads. No, maybe just beads, and I'm surprised. I thought she would have had, oh, she does. She has 284Z as a gold metallic, but it's by DMC, so she has a gold metallic thread that I don't have in here with her, but I might have it in my stash somewhere. So that is my Christmas Celtic lady. Who else do I have? This is my Winter Celtic lady by Lavender and Lace. Like I said, had forever. I think you can still get these. I think I've seen these on 1-2-3 Stitch. But this is Celtic Winter. Isn't she beautiful? Love her. And right now I have her kitted with a piece of pewter Ada, 16 count Ada. So it's kind of a bluish gray color, very similar to the color that the model is stitched in. That's why I picked it. This one I do have her, she calls for several cards of this gold rainbow treasure braid, petite treasure braid. And let me take the chart out of here. I kitted her so long ago. There is some old Whisper thread in this bag from Everything Cross Stitch from my old LNS that's been sitting in here for years and years and years. So she takes some Whisper thread. I'm imagining it's for her little muff here. I think that's what it's called. Little place, little furry thing they put their hands in to keep them warm. And I have her few beads that I've had forever and ever and a day. So red, white, and gold beads in there for her. So I have had this girl for a while, waiting. But I have Celtic Spring. I think another one. At least 2 of them on the go right now. And I thought I need to finish Celtic and Autumn, I think, or what I have going. So I didn't want to start any more Celtic ladies till I get the ones done that I've already got started. This is one of Mirabelle's Queens, and I just saw Gary from the Sunshine Stitchers is stitching this one. Just again, he pulled it out and was stitching some more on it recently. And this one's Royal Holiday. So this is one of the queens I have not started. She's kitted with her specialty things. I don't have her DMC, but I have her Whisper, I have her beads, and I have her a little bit of Krynic. So I have all of her fancy things that she needs, and all I need to do is get the DMC and a piece of fabric, and I have a piece of brash fabric that I might stitch her on, but I'm not sure. But like I said, I don't want to start too many all at once. Here's another one of the Celtic ladies from Lavender and Lace. This one is the Summer. So it must be spring and autumn that I have, because winter, summer, and the Christmas one are kitted but not started. So this is Summer. She's the one that her called for colors, all of these kind of greenish blue, these tealish colors. They were called for, I'd have to look at her. I couldn't find it anymore. And that's why I just try to go ahead and get all of the specialty things. Needle paints, they are not made anymore. Needle paints, silks. I believe they're silks. So I was looking around and I was trying to find something maybe comparable, and I don't know for sure if I'll be able to, if that's what I'm going to go with or not. But she also took a petite treasure braid. Needed 4 cards of that, so I went ahead and got that in case that ever goes, quits being made. And I've got her DMCs in here. And then I thought, and I ordered these off online, And these are these the Soitiges? Yeah, these are Soitige silks that I thought maybe I could use in place of the needle paints that were in her dress. And I picked up several different colors of kind of their teal colors in varying shades of it, from darker to lighter, so that I'm hoping that that will work for her. We'll see. And then all of her beads, because I thought, let me get everything for her just in case, you know, because you never know if Mill Hill will stop making particular beads or treasures, and or the treasure braid, or all of these little things that, like I said, because the needle paints were no longer being made, I couldn't kit her up all the way. So I try to go ahead and get that stuff now. That's just my advice to you guys. If you love a Mirabilia, don't sit too long, because once they've done and they're out of print, then if they're hard to get, you have to pay an arm and a leg, or you just don't get them. Now, I have a lot of the Bewitching Pixies, and I have one going. Her name is Gigi. She's the blue pixie. But I have a few other of Nora Corbett's Bewitching Pixie series. And this one is Xenia. So I have Xenia. And I have them all kitted with this fabric flare piece. So it's a printed piece of material. And this one is gray. It just says gray on it. So I thought this would look like a mysticky grayish whatever. I have all of her DMCs, and she just calls for one red bead, glass seed bead. So I have her beads. My puppy's moving around here. Oh, you know why? It's dinner time. I'm almost done. This video is going forever. So I have Xenia. Get her all down in there. And, oh, my nose. I think I have a piece of fuzz or something that's floating around, because it's just something tickling my nose. I know, baby. I'll feed you in a minute. And the next Nora Corbett Bewitching Pixies is Minerva. So there, she's that teal and black, just like the Raven Queen. Love her colors. And I love that owl with the moon. Pretty. And the same, another piece of that fabric flare is kitted up with her. And I have her, she has a few more beads and the DMCs. So, you know, as soon as I finish filming this video, my nose will stop itching. I don't know what it is about. As soon as I turn on a video to start recording, I don't know if it's all the fibers in these bags. I don't know if they fly around and they start tickling my nose. I don't know what it is. Crazy. Crazy talk, I tell you. Crazy talk. My other little Bewitching Pixie, and I somehow ended up with a couple of her, so I ended up giving her away as a giveaway a while back on my channel. And kept this one, Luna. Love her colors, those greens and the oranges with the black and the purple. So pretty. So I have her kitted up on a different piece of fabric. I have all of her DMCs, and I have her bead pack. So I purchased her bead pack. So I have all of her beads. And then I have, I think this is Barnwood. Yes, 16 count Barnwood Ada for her. Because I thought that her, all of her oranges and teal, you know, her greens, and she's got a green cryneck in here too, would look really nice, pop off of this dark piece of fabric. That's what I'm thinking. As long as it's not too dark for the black. But the black should still show up. The black data that's in her. So that is Luna. Have her. Sorry for crinkle crinkle. I only have a couple more. This video is over 2 hours. I hope you guys have popcorn and your drink and you're settled in a comfy chair. But I have a lot of lovely, lovely things. This one is one of the Bewitching Pixies, and this one is Anna. So she's kind of like an apple green, black, with her black cat. Her little card fell off the front of her thing. This is another one I have stitched with, kitted with this fabric flare fabric, and I have her bead pack. Like I said, if I could get the bead pack, I always get the bead pack, just to make sure that I have her. And then she's just charted with DMC colors, so I'll be able to pick those up when I'm ready to start stitching on her. And I have, looks like just a couple of more. Almost to the end, people. Almost to the end. This one is a Mirabilia that I purchased because I didn't want to miss out on her, because I thought if she goes out of print, which I'm not sure she might be, Sleeping Princess. I just thought she was so pretty. It's like the Princess and the Pea with all the mattresses. The Sleeping Princess. And I thought I was going to go ahead and start her. So I have all of her DMCs in here. I have her beads. She even has some of these larger beads. Not only the little tiny things, but these bigger ones. Look at the size of those beads. Because most of the time the beads are small. They're little seed beads. I will, baby. I'm not forgetting to feed you. Almost ready. Almost. And then her Krynex. So I have everything for her, all sitting down in this bag. All of her different beads and things. All ready for her. And just need a piece of fabric picked out. So got her. Because like I said, I love her and I didn't want to miss out on her. Even if I don't start her for 5 years, I at least have her. And then the last one is one that I've had for years. I must have picked this one up at Everything Cross Stitch in Fredericksburg when they were open. But this one is an Italian designer. And it's the pattern is called Under the Arbor of Love. And it is, I guess, Passione Ricomo. And I just thought that was so pretty. I love her dress. This lady with the, and I think this one is so old that I think it might be 2000 to 2004. I think this one is a handwritten chart, not a digital. Yeah, it looks written. And I right now just have this piece of fabric picked out for her. Yeah, I purchased her back in 1997 for $7.25 at Everything Cross Stitch. Because but I have this kind of like oatmeal. I don't even know what fabric this is. Oh wait, yes I do. This is one I ordered off of Etsy by Vintage Needle Arts. 16 count Ada in the color walnut. I thought it looked very similar to what the model was stitched on. So that's what I have for her. And like I said, I've had this pattern forever. This is one from my old stash. I had stitched for years and years, back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And then our LNS closed its doors, and didn't have the internet. I didn't have anybody to stitch with. So, and then I had a lot of life things going on. So I kind of put my cross stitch to the side, and I had girlfriends that were starting to scrapbook. So I got into that with them for a few years, and I was out of cross stitch for about 10 years. And then I came back by finding Flosstube and seeing, oh wow, I can order from all these different shops, and I look at all the beautiful threads and the fabrics and things they have now that they didn't have back then, and I just fell down the whole rabbit hole, as you can see. So that is my kitted parade. These are all of the things that I have kitted in my stash, in my craft room. And I need to feed my puppies because they are getting adamant that their belly clocks are going off, and they're telling me they're hungry because it actually is about half an hour past their feeding time. And especially my older one, she gets very verbal. She starts bossing me. So I think it is time for me to close this video. Tell you all, I hope you have happy time to stitch, that you all are well, and have a wonderful week. I'm hoping to come back next week with a regular video. This one is a Flosstube extra of all of my kitted kits, and I'll be back to show you what I've been up to. You guys have a nice evening or day, whatever time of the day it is, and I'll see you soon.